To experience what it's going to be like in the Extinction event just a few years from now, you got to be in a greenhouse like this one in sub-Saharan Africa, living in these extreme temperatures where, well, it's so hot now, people are frying and dying all over the place, and that's what it's going to be like in London and Stockholm. Obviously, Stockholm's going to be hit by a massive amount of heat waves, wipe out the Swedish population overnight in 2025 if we don't all act and stop using and causing CO2 right now. All cars in England have to be off the road by 2025, all cars without exception, and tractors and trucks and buses that run on diesel, because that will then help stop climate change. But the good news for Extinction Rebels, there's some very good news in the world. We just saw on the news that 50,000 people in Bangladesh were drowned in a flood, 2,000 people in Japan were killed in a typhoon, and 10,000 people were killed in Sichuan province in China in a mudslide when there was some torrential rains there. So that's good news for Greta Thunberg and Extinctionist movement, because that then gives them gratification and satisfaction that they are correct. Extinction's coming fast and furiously across the world in these amazing weather events that are just torrential and destroying lives as we see it and as we watch it on the news and follow the news. We are seeing the world become extinct before our eyes, and we must take great note and do exactly what the Extinction Rebels demand and stop all cars on the road in Britain by 2025 and stop importing all goods from China that have a CO2 component by 2025. In fact, you have to stop all the goods coming from China now, because if you've got a washing machine or a fridge or anything like that, you can't replace it, because to replace it means you have to get involved with CO2 coming from China. So those things are out. All shops in England must shut now. All shops that sold goods, merchandise, like fridges and washing machines and vacuum cleaners, all those things must be stopped now if they're imported from China, because the Chinese cause CO2 by making them. They should be banned now. Greta Thunberg is correct. This is a new world leader, because the UN said she's the greatest mind ever, and people said she speaks for planet Earth. Well, they've heard her way out in the galaxies. They've heard her, and they said, wow, this girl is just something else, and we're getting messages down now from the gods saying, wow, all hail Greta, because now Greta has said physics is bad. Now, this is where we must stake our rebellion against physics itself. We must now tell the government that we want physics banned. We want the government to do something about physics. Not only do we want the government to do something about climate, stop the climate changing, stop the ice melting, stop the snow falling, whatever it is. We want a perfect climate. We want a perfectly safe climate for our children. We don't want this climate where we're not sure whether they're going to wear a raincoat or a warm jumper or a cold jumper or cold clothes, weather clothes. We want certainty, absolute certainty, before we send our kids to school. We don't want to send them out into uncertain weather. We want a perfectly safe weather to send them to school in, especially seeing as all the cars are coming off the road and we can't drive them anymore. We need perfectly safe weather for our children or grandchildren. So the best thing to do this is do what Greta Thunberg says and now take on physics. Physics is what the problem is. That's what causes all the weather, all the problems. You know, you stand in front of a train, you'll find the physical effects of a train hitting you, because that's what physics is. It's a force. And that's all I know about physics. But Greta Thunberg, she's an expert on physics, and says physics is bad. We've got to do something about physics. So stop this Extinction Rebellion. We know extinction's happening. We've made a point. We've now got to rebel against physics. Physics itself. We demand politicians act on physics now. That's what we demand. Books of Einstein, throw them all out. Yes, terrible stuff. Boring, bad for you. You read Einstein, theory of relativity and all that, you go, oh no, this is really terrible. How can you have cause and effect? We can't have cause and effect. We're banning cause and effect from our lives. There's going to be no cause and no effect from now on. That's what we really want. We're physics rebels. We rebel against physics. No cause and no effect. That's us. That's what we want now. Extinction Rebellion's going to rebelling against physics. No cause, no effect. That's it. Greta said so. Greta Thunberg, the greatest genius, speaking for the whole planet. She's a 16-year-old girl, the go-to person to answer all questions in regard to humanity's future, has said physics is bad. Who are we? How dare we disagree with this young person? How dare we disagree with her? She said, how dare we disagree with her? How dare we be involved with physics, causing effects and all that? We shouldn't. We should stop all physics now. Guess what we should do? Stop all physics. Sun, moving, moon, and all that. No, stop all that stuff. We want the politics to stop the moon moving around. That's a physical effect. We demand the politics stop the moon moving around. That's what we want. Because the moon causes the tides to move and the earth to shift to tectonic plate movements. And we don't want that because it causes climate change. And we don't want fucking climate change here. We want a permanently stable climate here. As soon as we stop physics, the better. We want the moon to stop moving around the earth. That's what we want. That's a big problem. That's a really, look at that problem in itself. It causes all that tidal stuff and all that movement around the earth's crust, called disrupting society. With the moon, the physics of the moon itself is extremely dangerous. We want that stopped now. Greta Thunberg leads. We must follow.